Hey there, Iron Man fans, this is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Marvel Legends Iron Man 3 Series 2 Mark 42 Armor Iron Man. This is made by Hasbro and has just started hitting stores. Unfortunately, in my area, we haven't seen them locally yet. Started to see a lot of other things kind of dropping in here and there, but this series hasn't shown up yet, and we've seen a lot of restocks of Series 1. So I did order this from Impulse Creations. If you haven't tried Impulse Creations before, they're a great website. This figure was only marked up 99 cents, so it's $15.99, and the shipping for my entire order, which included 4 figures, was only $8. So that's a pretty good deal right there. But the box is the exact same as the previous iterations that we've shown before, so I didn't feel the need to show it again. If you would like to see the box, just check out the Bleeding Edge Armor Iron Man and Iron Patriot and stuff like that, and you'll be able to see. But this is the new Mark 42 armor, as debuted in Iron Man 3, and it's got a very different design cue than the previous armors have had. From Iron Man 1 to Iron Man 2 to the Avengers, the armor is really not taken that big of a design difference. The largest, of course, being in Avengers with the Mark 8 armor, I think it is. So the idea in this movie is that he's made several different armors and might even be becoming a little obsessed with it. But anyway, the armor itself is very, very just different. Let me get the Mark 6 in here real quick just to show you what I mean. So you can see height differences aside, just down to the very color of the armor is quite different. The gold is much more muted this time around. This isn't just because of the action figure. The gold is actually more like a soft gold or a brass, not quite as yellow gold as previously done, much more of a brown gold. But also the prevalence of the gold is much different. We've got a lot more gold in the chest, on the shoulder pauldrons, all over the legs now, down to the shins and everything. Everything is a lot more gold, but it also keeps some of those gray accents, whereas this one only has them in the legs and arms here and stuff. We actually get some here in the midsection, down on the knees, and there should be some up here, I believe, in the shoulders. If I remember right, I think the Diamond Select version is doing that a little more accurately, but this is still a very nice looking action figure. The back, you can see they're very similar in basic design, with like the flaps and stuff, and the segmented armor pieces here in the middle. But in general, this is just a far more streamlined look, far less bulky. You can see he's much thinner than Iron Man, well, than the Mark 6 rather. So yeah, just a very different look for Iron Man altogether. The sculpting on this guy is actually very nice. Let me get his legs put back here a little bit. Got that same kind of Iron Man feel, bucket head. They did mark black into the mouth line, so that's very cool. It makes it really stand out and give it some personality, which is very nice. All the red on the figure that I can see is actually molded in that color, and the gold is painted on. So still very nice. We've got the blue lighting in the eyes, which is cool. Gray details here in the top of the armor. These shoulder pads this time around are not articulated. They are just a softer rubber. So they will move and get out of the way of the arm, but as you can see, or if you were watching earlier, this one was sticking out a little bit because I had his arm posed out like this and then moved it down. They are going to want to form that way. So if you leave his arm up like that for, you know, a week while he's on your shelf, then when you put it back down, it is going to stick up like that. So you will have to watch out for things like that. Very nice job on the arc reactor here. They did a nice job of kind of blending the colors so that it's white in the center and blue on the outside, but also beyond that, there's actually some like a tampo design in there, so that it's not just a blending of the color. They actually painted or put a design in there to make it look just kind of a little more alive, which is very cool. Very nice paint detail work. I mean, granted, there is slop here and there, but as far as their Iron Man figures go, this is probably a step in the right direction. Their Iron Mans tend to be very sloppy, just because of the amount of paint I guess they have to put on there. And there is slop here and there, like I said. You'll pick up small areas where it bleeds over and whatnot. There's a little gold here, a little red there. But for the most part, for mass market, this is a very nice, serviceable paint job. One of the parts where I noticed where it was a little bit problematic was more on the hands. If you can see that, it's just kind of slopped on there a little bit more. Not you know, terrible, but certainly not good. I do wish that they had painted the blue in the I forget what it's called, repulsors on his hands, but they did not decide to do that, so that's unfortunate. But yeah, paint job overall looks great. Sculpt looks very nice. They did a great job getting all those little panels on there and everything. Some panel lining would have been cool, but of course, mass market, I don't expect it. If they had done like a wash, there's a good chance that they would have just muddied the look of the figure, so I understand why they did what they did. Now, articulation-wise, we have the standard ball-jointed head, so a little bit of action here and there, but it is hinged, so it will look down and will look up. So if you want to put him in a flying pose in addition to the mid-torso joint here, that is totally possible. Very cool. We've got the swivel hinge shoulders, so they go forward, back, about that far, out to the side, and swivel around. Now the problem is with these pauldrons is because they don't lift up, going forward and back, you're going to have to be very careful that you don't like just tear them right off. If they get caught on something, they will tear. I mean, they are soft plastic, so you have to be careful with that. With the other ones, they were on like ball hinges, so you could just kind of pop them up out of the way and just move your arm around and then put them back down. So this one you just have to be a little more careful with. Swivels in the biceps go all the way around. Double-hinged elbow, so first point gets you to about there, about 90 degrees. Second point will get him very nice range there to where he can even, with his wrist joint, touch his shoulder. So that's pretty cool. The wrist joint is a swivel hinge, so it goes all the way around, and it goes in and out. This is a soft bit of plastic here on the back, so if you push back, it will form to the arm, so it won't hurt the articulation. But same as the pauldrons, you have to be careful that you don't bend that permanently into a single shape. So, which becomes especially important here on the right hand because it is the open blasting hand. You can push that back to get the blast, but you can see how it's bending that backwards. So that may form to that shape after a while, which may not bother you. It's just something to watch out for. Ball jointed mid-torso. A nice side-to-side action on this one. Dig it. Good swivel action. What I really like also this time around is that when you push back, they did actually paint the details up underneath here. So like in a standing position, you won't notice that, but when you push it back, they did decide to paint the underbelly, so it kind of makes it look a little more well thought out, natural. It looks very nice. So the midsection goes back about that far, which like I said, helps with flying poses. Forward about that far. So pretty nice crunch on him. And of course, like I said, the side to side is fantastic. We've got 90-degree swivel hinge swivel hips. They go forward only about that far. It is hindered by the leg armor here. He's got nice clearance up here in the hips for the most part, but the leg armor kind of protrudes a little bit away from the leg. So goes forward about that far. Butt pack will block it going back, so it doesn't get much back motion at all, which is unfortunate. I don't know why they don't just cut these out a little more, but you can always do that yourself if you're into that. Out to the side is very far. You can get very far on both legs, so very nice there. And then the swivel here at the top of the thigh will go all the way around. Double hinge knees are very tight. There we go. First point gets to 90 degrees. Second point gets very nice motion. Very, very cool. Dig the legs. Unfortunately, there is no thigh or calf swivel. So we do have a hinged and swivel ankle, which goes down very nicely, goes forward pretty nicely. Like that's pretty much straightforward, and then it moves up about that far. It does bump against the shin armor here, and then has the new Hasbro style swivel, which is very cool. So when you put the leg out to the side, you've got that nice flat, but it is missing that swivel calf. So we're going to run into the same issues that we've run into with some of our other figures, where like the bleeding edge armor Iron Man, where when you put it to the side, you're going to have to kind of fudge with the legs a little bit to get it to stand perfectly. If there was a swivel there, you could turn the toes inward so that he would have better balance, but naturally he isn't going to have that balance on his own. So you'll have to work with that a little bit and just kind of play around with it until you get the right pose that you want. So overall, this is a very nice action figure. It definitely fits in with the $15 price point. Yeah. It doesn't have any like bells and whistles on it, but if you've seen the movie, there are no bells and whistles for this armor. This is a very plain suit of armor. It's a get you there armor. It's kind of a prototype, no weapons, no nothing. So it fits for the design of the armor. It's so bare, it would almost be cool if they gave a Tony Stark head. The ball on here is the exact same as the other Hasbro balls. I probably shouldn't say it that way. But so, like, Bleeding Edge Armor Iron Man, I've got the Tony head on there. I can pop the Tony head off of it, pop it on there, and it works perfectly. So, of course, it is a, a comic book style Tony head, but if you have the, what is it, Mark 6 variant, I think it used the same size ball, so it should fit on there just fine, if you wanted to do the Robert Downey Jr. head. So, pretty cool. Dig it. Like I said, I paid $15.99 instead of $15, but it was totally worth it for $16 because you also get the, let's see, in this one it was one of the arms, I think, for Ironmonger. So I'll be showing that in the Ironmonger review as it is. This guy's done. Very nice, great articulation, great sculpt, pretty good paint. The only beef I have with articulation really is their decision on the shoulder pads and the lack of a calf swivel. Other than that, outstanding action figure, on par for the new Marvel figures. Very excited to have him in the collection. Even though it's kind of a lame armor overall, it's still a pretty cool action figure. So just get him and Bleeding Edge here, who's wanting to fall a little bit. And we'll get the Mark 6 back real quick. I believe that was the Mark 6. Mark 6, Mark 4, I lose track, so... Yeah, that's it. Pretty cool action figure. If you get the opportunity, I would definitely pick them up, especially if you're wanting to finish up Ironmonger. If you have any questions or comments, throw them in the box below. I'll be glad to answer them for you. And thanks for stopping by. And if you're a subscriber, thank you for subscribing. I really appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys later, guys. Talk to you guys later, guys. That's the kind of crap I say on YouTube. You guys have a great day. See ya. Bye.